Okay, it appears we are live. So, welcome and thank you for coming. It has been a while since I have actually done a stream. So, let me get you. Whee! I'll turn you over here so we can talk for a minute. Okay, so I've had some issues with the Anycubic Chiron, which is over there. I will explain here in just a second. The heated bed. A while back, we had done a video talking about, when I did the unboxing, we had talked about the possible pinch point that was going to exist on the build plate. I have talked about that since a little bit. Anycubic has agreed to send me a new build plate, so that's cool. Unfortunately, that also means that I got like a 2 to 3 week lead time because they're not going to be in any hurry to send it. So we will see how fast it gets here. I need to look at seeing if I can replace the wire that goes to the thermistor today because I'm getting a issue with the resistance over the length of the new wire that I have. So basically what I did is I took the original wire and I actually spliced another section of wire of comparable gauge. But what it's doing is it's causing a temperature fluctuation, plus or minus 10 degrees to 12 degrees Celsius, which obviously is not going to trigger the heated build plate because it's not stable enough. So it keeps flickering and it's not, anyway. So gonna have to try and go a little bit farther to repair it, or whether or not we are going to just wait for the build plate. So I'll bring the camera over real quick so I can show you this. All right, so this is the guts of the Anycubic Chiron. It is standing on its back. We don't have a pointer, but we need a pointer. Let's find a pointer. Here's our pointer. Okay, so right here is the location of our thermistor for our heated bed. It is very nice. I have rerouted this from here. Let's see, where did it go originally? It came out through here, a hole, and then they ran it through this gap here. Well, the wire bundle that was on here was just thick enough that it was causing a pinch point. So the wire was getting snagged here while the bed was moving. And what that did is it caused a kind of a pressure point on the heated build plate. I need to, once again, remove the heated build plate. I have been doing some testing. So as you can see, there's some gator clips here. That was just to kind of see if I was able to get a better continuity on the cable. The same error persisted. So that's why I'm pretty sure that the issue is not with the it's not with this. Well, the issue is with the splice. Okay. But as you can see, I don't know if you can, but these wires are pretty much the same gauge. This one a little bit thinner, which is the stock wire. And the stock wire is a little bit, my wire is a little bit thinner than the stock wire. So I kind of have to go with one or the other, I believe. And hopefully that'll fix my resistance problem. So the only issue is I have to look in my toolbox here and see if I have that particular setup that I can look for. I have much wire, but I do not have that style connector in a length that would work, I don't think. So My apologies while I'm off screen. I'm looking at one of the wire harnesses that I have, and that is definitely not long enough. So yeah, I think we are pretty much out of luck in that regard. Hold on. We also have no. Well, actually we do. We have one, which I might be able to use. But I don't think I have the metal for it because I need to have the pins that go with the connectors, which I do have the connectors, ironically, but I just don't have the pins for the connectors. Well, that kind of sucks a little. So we're trying to see if we can find something to make this work, but it's not looking promising. Why do they got to be so short? See, if I had something longer, it would be wonderful. But I do not. All right. Anyway. So let's see. What else can we do here? This is the wire we want to replace. Oh, actually, I was in error. The wire I was using is thicker. But I need these pins in order to make this work. So we're going to try and take these out. And we're going to switch over to here. And I don't appear to be very interesting today because nobody's chatting with me. But then again, I have a tendency of coming in pretty under the radar. Let's see, where's the fastener? All right, so we might be able to do this. Maybe. I'm probably going to destroy the connector trying this because pulling these apart is seldom a good idea. So we're going to try to do it carefully. It's not looking good. Just so you can see what I'm doing here. What I'm trying to do is push these connectors out carefully, but they are not very willing to do that. The other option I have is to just cut the housing and do it that way. But I think that would just not be fun. I think I'd be better off just getting these connectors. Okay, so we're going to hold off on that for a minute, I think. So frustrating. You know what you want to do, and you just can't do it. Oh, just bent my My tweeze. Yeah, I don't think I'm going to be able to get that. There's this little tiny, like, finger, I don't know what else you want to call it, that holds this in to keep it from backing itself out. And unfortunately, it is just big enough to cause me problems. And of course, if I get it to move, it means I probably broke the... I got one. Okay, that's good. Well, we will see. So how's everybody doing? I should have asked that already. Oh, there we go. All right, so this one came out finally. All right, now I need to carefully remove these. That's going to be the trickier part because I have to bend these pins without breaking them. And once they're bent, they really don't like to come out. So I could do it one of two ways, which I know I keep saying I have like multiple ways to do things. But one of the ways I can do this is I could cut it and then solder the wire to it. Or I can try and see if I can't convince these to come out and then re-bend them back into place. Well, we can try the rebending part first, I suppose. These are very hard to like see when you have crappy eyes like I do, so. And all this just so we can see if we can get the bed working again. Well, it turns out, like I said, the resistance was the problem, I think, on the yeah, that's really on there good, which I guess it's doing its job. With the variance in the thickness of the wire, and I think it was causing the thermistor to not register properly. So basically, it wasn't able to get a reliable signal, which means that you can't work with it that way. But reclaiming these pins with a broken X-Acto knife is just not going to be a good idea. All right, well, we got that one. Put that off to the side. And then we just got this one more to do. So let's see if we can't do this one. Well, it sure isn't pretty. But I guess it doesn't really have to be pretty. It just has to work. And you're going to remember the right side. This one right here is the red pin. And if I get that wrong, it's not the end of the world. I just have to make sure that the spot on the bed is correct. Actually, I don't even know if I have to do that. I don't remember if these are, what's the word, bipolar, or if they're singles. I can't remember. But regardless, what do we got? We got this long, well, this one's already got an end on it though. Let's see if we got one that does not have an end on it. No, all of these have ends on it. See, this is my project wire that I was going to use on the new 3D printer, but they don't cost a lot. So I am just going to cut the ends off. So try not to cringe too much. And I'm going to do the same thing I did last time. I'm going to keep the blue and the red together. So I guess in theory, I could have just cut one instead of both, but this very small wire. So we're gonna go with the very small. So this is a 22 gauge, looks like. And then we're gonna do the other side. And then we gotta take the heated build plate off, and we gotta resolder that. And I think we'll probably put a bead of solder on this one, just to make sure that it stays where it's supposed to. So we'll probably want to start heating up a soldering iron for that. Oh, the question, do I want to do it that way or not? I don't know. Not one for using these handy helper thingies very much because, well, I've never used one. So, and I think this wire is probably a little too big. Well, not too big, but a lot lengthwise too long for the connector. So we'll have to cut the end off of this thing. And I have no idea if the chat's working or not. So if somebody wants to post a chat, and if it works, I will know. Or if it does not work, I guess you could always do the Discord message. I think I have Discord up right now. Oh, thank you, TK. All right, so it does work. Good. It's just everybody's being really quiet today, probably because nobody knows that I'm on. But that's okay, because I like to be the mystery. I like to sneak in, fly under the radar. This is the tricky part because I need to be able to squish these just a little bit without like killing them. And that is not as easy as it sounds. In fact, it is a giant pain. Oh, Ricky's streaming. Okay. So that's why. I didn't even think of that. I actually thought Ricky was all done streaming, but Oh, goodness. I dropped it. So, yes, then. This will be an informative stream, then. I like the Chiron. I really do. It's up until I had this little issue, but it's not really a... it doesn't seem like it's going to be a long issue. It's just something to, like, look out for if you decide to get one. You know, is that pinch point. But I mean, once that pinch point's taken care of, it's really not a big deal, I don't think. It's been a very reliable machine. The only thing I will tell you about the Chiron, though, is when you are using the Chiron with such a large build plate, make sure you level the build plate to the temperature you plan on using. So, like for me, I run at 60 degrees Celsius on the build plate. So make sure that that's the temperature you use every time. I noticed that a deviation of like 3 degrees Celsius will affect the actual layer height. So just keep that in mind when you're doing that. But turn that down. I try to make this look a little prettier because that's just hideous, and I don't like that. I may have inadvertently pinched this just a little too much, and it's causing me to not get the precision that I'm looking for. So I may have to try and spread that just a little bit more. So let's get our knife out again and try to find a good... This is a problem too. I mean, if you're trying to do this with words, I'm trying to do this and that at the same time. If you're trying to do this, just be careful, I guess is what I want to say, because you really don't want to cut your finger doing this. It's not worth injuring yourself over. If I were a schmuck guy, I probably would have just ordered another set of these on Amazon. They're only a few bucks. But, you know me, I like to do everything the hard way. All right, so what we're going to try to do now is we're going to try and lay a little bit of solder in there. You want to print the moon. Yep, that would be cool. 40 to 50 or even off, as I tend to use only PLA, which is also another thing. But you remember, this is the ultra base. So yeah, you could run it without the heat, but I recommend using the heat with the ultra base because it gives you a better adhesion. And then when it cools down, it releases. Just an FYI. And bed heat is not that important with PLA. Just not sure about a large bed like the Chiron. I would recommend heating it. That's pretty much where I'm at with that. Like I said, I'm not sure that there's necessary. I'm not sure that it's necessary. I guess it just depends on what your particular preference is. But that would be where you would want to leave it. So I think that's what I'm trying to say. So if you run unheated, then don't change that. Just keep it as a heated bed, and then you should be fine. Like I said, I've not used the ultra base though without the heat. So I think that such a difficult little thing, isn't it? Why must you be so difficult with me? Like I said, I've never used these helpers before, so this is a first for me. But they are supposed to be really cool. Ow, that's hot. This would be so much easier if I had flux. You have to use a different soldering iron because this one's just a little bit too big. I know my other one will work better for this. It smells like chicken. You're holding it wrong. Hi, Brian. Oh, God, that's funny. Don, trolling, how you doing? Oh, my God, that was funny. Oh, my God. You guys make me laugh. I think if I was soldering at that moment, I probably would have dropped my gun or the iron. I probably would have snorted too. I need an outlet in close proximity so I can actually run this because I'm going to have to use my little tiny one for this. Oh my God. I have to get under my desk. All right, we're up. Yes, I need an outlet for my frustration. Oh my God. You're like one-on-one today. Actually, I think I got a pretty good seat on that. This is ugly. Holy cow. I mean, if you could see this, you would agree. This is just an ugly, ugly soldering job, but it is what it is. Ricky! Yeah, sorry, Ricky. I started my stream thinking you had been done because I was just busy this morning. So I would have joined you on there if I realized you were still up. So sorry about that. Mostly it. Yes, now you get to watch me like burn something or melt something. Or you break it with Clyde. Oh, hey, since everybody's on, I have a very special project that I would love help with for Christmas. Her grandfather, my wife's grandfather, let me specify, has expressed interest in having a remote-controlled vehicle. Unfortunately, hold on, let me catch up. No, never do that, buddy. You need the hours more than I do. I'm doing this for fun, so. Thanks, Brian. Well, actually, what I'm working on is trying to see about the resistance on the Chiron's heated build plate. So, yes, today on a very special PT3D, we are hosting Break It with Clyde. What are we going to break today, Jim? Well, I think that we're going to break the 3D printer. No, I'm just kidding. That's bad. We should never say things like that. Man, I need some better eyeballs. Good grief. That's right. See, that was my plan, was to capitalize on Mr. Ricky's fame by leeching his viewers. Yeah, word to the wise too. If you plan on doing soldering of any kind, make sure you have flux. Just saying. It makes things go so much easier because this sucks not having flux. Sucks not having flux. Actually, hey Ricky, Oh. Okay, well, let me give you the story first, and then if you guys have ideas, you can help me with it. So her grandfather has always been big into remote controlled aircraft. He used to build his own. He also used to fly the real deal. And he's also not a Vietnam. He's a World War II vet. And one of the things that he likes is he feels like because he's in one of the VA homes, and he feels like people have abandoned him. And it really is a good place. I visit there as often as I can, and he has expressed interest in, maybe having a remote controlled vehicle. Well, the problem is he can't use a traditional type of remote controlled vehicle because he just doesn't have the dexterity for it anymore. So what I was thinking was maybe I could try to develop or work with somebody kind of a remote control using a laser pointer that I could hook to his hat brim. Because we gave him one of those little headlamps for his hat, and he really loves that. And I thought it would be really cool to just be able to do that for him. But like I said, I don't have the technical aptitude to just come up with stuff like that on my own. I did send a message to the peeps over to Adafruit, trying to see if I could get some advice from them, but they did not get back to me yet. So I don't know if that's something that they will be willing to help with. So, but anyway, it was just an idea. It's a thought. I do plan on going through with it just because, it's, I like to do that kind of stuff, especially if it's for a veteran, and he is. So anyway, let's see. RC tank. That's something. We could do that. Painting a little bit of liquid flux on the solder wick makes it work really. Yeah, I agree. You will not hear me disagree with you on that one. Flux just helps in general because it just it makes the solder just go right into whatever you're working on. And I should have eaten breakfast before I did this. Ow, that's hot. I did not eat breakfast before I did this, and my hands are not as stable as they should be. All right, let's see if we can't get a little bit of... All right, let's get some love on there. Well, the problem is, too, if I don't have a good seat, then I'm not going to have problems. Maybe less coffee. Never less coffee. Coffee doesn't do for me what it does for a lot of people. But thank you for reminding me to take a sip of my cup. What is that? Huh. Okay. So yeah, anyway, I know I've seen the workings for a model or like a little robot that, oops, I got a little crazy on that one. Got a little too hot. That allows you to use, light chaser. The problem is that he's in a facility where, they have a lot of light. So that wouldn't really work so well. And just like my soldering is probably not going to work so well. But we're going to try it anyway. Yes, solder. Yes, we love solder. Solder is our friend when it works. Just like using tweezers to remove excess solder off your soldering iron. And now I have to turn my soldering iron off because I think we're done with that part. Ooh. So I got to get back down here. Well, hello, Mike. I've got a notification again, just like I see. Yeah. Well, I don't ever understand why those pesky little notifications or notifiers don't work. At least, I mean, mine work for like you and actually I had an issue with Ricky's. Ricky's doesn't pop up for me for some reason. So, but usually when I'm checking the tube, it pops up on my primary no, not screen, but it pops up on my this is going to be lovely. Oh, okay. Let's see if we can't get that in there to stay. All right, we got one in. I don't know if this is going to hold or not, but I choose to be optimistic. Well, they're both in. All right. So we just got the dongle. So now what we need is we don't have a lighter. Oh, I forgot the lighter again. I don't know why I always forget that. But we don't really need it, I suppose. Hello, Mr. Denninger. How are you, good sir? Denninger. I don't, just slap me next time you see me if I can't get your name pronounced right. That is wrong. I need the blue because I'm doing 2 wires. And I should have set this up as a Google Hangout, I guess. I didn't really think about doing it that way because this was supposed to be just kind of a real quick type jump on, give a status report on the Chiron, and then it turned into a sweet. That is freaking-tastic. Let's see if I can't do this without destroying it. Come on. And we'll paint. Like we're painting it. I thought solder actually comes off on a shrink tubing. That's actually kind of cool. I will have to remember that for the future. That's right. If you don't like it, hit the I don't like it. If you like it, hit the like it. If you want to be notified, I don't know. Apparently my dinger doesn't work right, so I have a broken dinger. I got to fix that. Wow, this is so cool. The solder's coming right off of this, right onto the shrink tube. That is so neat. That's the little things, right? Yeah, look at that. It's all sparkly and pretty now because it's got solder on it. Well, I don't know if you can really see how sparkly and pretty it is, but yeah, it's there. Need food. Get food, Brian. It's very important. Eat food. It's probably because I was just saying I haven't eaten yet. But that's not true. I did have a candy bar, but it wasn't a Snickers, so I can still reserve the right to be hangry. All right, let's go over here. Notifies me with the bell icon on the top right of the screen. That's interesting. And to be complete transparent, is that the word I'm looking for? Transparent is I'm trying very much to be more interesting, because I know how monotone I can be, and I am trying to work on that. So I appreciate all you guys with your patience on that. I also try to do stuff that's interesting, which is why I don't do videos very often, because, well, face it, I don't have very interesting things to do. So, especially when I don't have enough money to like acquire the things that I need, the things to make it go. The engine of the world. You know, I should actually do one of those. If I ever end up with extra money where I can do giveaways and stuff, I'll do quotes, and you'll have to figure out where the quote comes from. I have no interest in stopping the engine of the world, though. It'd be nice to see it reset, though. Okay, so... Okay, we're good. This is tenuous, very precarious. MOSFET, these wires are good and tight in there. I've already checked that. I know Don, you were worried about my wrapping this wire. Obviously, the reason I haven't wrapped it yet is because I want to make sure it works first. So after that, we will do the wrapping. The wrapping at your door. All right. So then we got to get this back over here. Move this. All right. We good. We are so good. And now we're going to unplug. Since we're going to be working, I'm going to short cycle this with the button here, just to make sure that there's no voltage. All right. And once again, we are going to take these off. And I do have to come up with a spacer for this. And I'll be looking at the screen in a second. I'm sorry. Whoops. It ran away. And I dropped it again. Oh. All right, hold on. Let me look at this. All right. It's not working out too well for you. Still not interested. Well, you know, I love you, Mike. Oh, that's funny. Hey, I'm still trying, though. You got to give me credit. At least I'm trying to be interesting. I'd really like to get some of these other projects going, though. But unfortunately, some of the projects I want to do with this Chiron. Ooh, what's that? I found a bits and bob. I like bits and bobs. Bits and bobs are fun. Got one. Oop, there's the other one. You don't want to lay that in the hole again. Or do we? All right. We're going to lay this right here for a second so you can see my creative, artistic work here. Okay. All about not being interesting, so don't. That's not true, buddy. I've been really interested in your DeLorean because I absolutely love the DeLorean. So, and you do. You're interesting, whether you like it or not. See, I'm going through all these zip ties. So frustrating. And I gotta take this one off too, because I have to reroute this. But thankfully, oh God, I hate having to desolder that again. Oh, I'm pretty much going to have to remove all of these zip ties. Man, what a waste. But I suppose it was worth it because it helped me achieve a goal. But next time I will do the testing first before I do the zip tying, because otherwise I end up wasting zip ties. And I don't like wasting zip ties. Okay, so I can solder this here, but the angle is going to be really awkward. So I'm going to move the camera as close as I can. I'm going to bring the camera down to here. All right, I'm going to try, like I said, I got to get you kind of out of the way, but where I can still work. So I do have a soldering iron that is heated, thankfully. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to pull the solder off of this. Oh, I forgot. I may not be able to do it at this setting. I may have to heat it up more. I think I'm going to have to heat this up just a little bit more than this. Yep. We're going to crank up our temperature a little bit. The problem is this thing like spreads heat so rapidly that it's really hard. I could heat up the surface. There we go. All right, so you got that one. But if you don't get enough heat, it makes it very difficult to do the rest. Okay, heat is done. The heat is on the street. There's a lot of activity going on in Discord right now, and I'm not able to look at the Discord. But I do have to find my wire. Where are you, little wire? Oop, I got it. Oop, it's right there. Go fish. Now, the new interesting issue is that this is going to be shorter than my other one was. I need light. Even if it's blue, I still need it. And I need some soda. So I'm going to pre-tin these just a little bit beforehand. So we'll just do a little dab, a little dabbity dab. Drop my screwdriver on the floor, because that sounds like fun, doesn't it? All right, just a little dabbity dab. I don't want to get too crazy with it. All that extra, it's like, this is like glob just sitting there. All right, now we're going to try and get this here red wire connected without boogering it up too badly. All right. The other nice thing is too is it cools off so fast that once you get the pad or get it down to the pad, you can just let go. Oops. I'm trying to go for the center of the pad though, which I don't think I did this time. Oop, wait, there we go. Nope, I missed. Oh my God, would you stop it? Come here, get over here. There you go. Okay. Well, it is now connected. So now we're going to power the sucker up because we need to see if it's actually working. Thank you, Robbie Mack, and a very pleasant day to you, sir. I'm just so you can see what I'm doing here. I'm just kind of pulling some of that extra solder off the end of this soldering iron. You don't want to pull it all off, though, because you don't want this oxidizing. But I don't have one of those little cleaning thingies. So I will leave that to my friend here because this is his soldering iron. He's much more OCD about that stuff. Okay, so we have all the wires connected. So now we're going to take this. Why are you looking for it? Oh my God, Brian. It's too early for those kind of puns. Okay, so what we're looking for now is right here on the display to see how stable it is. So right now it's deviating by 1 degree Celsius, so that is not a good thing. It should be staying right about the same temperature. Oh, can you even see it? I guess I'm not. Let's try to get down past the glare. Oh, this is just not behaving. Wait. Okay, you know what I'll do? Here. Oh, you can see it now, just barely. I don't think you can read the temperature, though. What we are looking at is a glowing rectangular. Yes, you are correct. Oh my God, that's even worse. Yeah. So, I don't know if I can find a good angle for this. What if I go like this? No, it's just not a happy thing today. All right, hold on. Let's try to get you down a little lower first. Wow, this is just not behaving at all. All right, hold on. Let me turn this light back off. It's the exposure on this camera. It's just not. I guess the other thing I could do is take this light. Oh man, which I can't do because it is. All right, I'll try to angle it from here. See if this works. It's probably a little better. There's just so much like black from like all this stuff here that it's making it real difficult for the camera to see. Well, anyway. Yes. Well, it's never a problem to find the angle of the dangle. So we're seeing a 2 degrees Celsius deviation right now, which is probably not good. Which means that it's probably not going to pick up the it won't pick up the build plate. So if you see right there, there's no light. That light is not on, which means that it's not stable enough. So there's one other thing I can try. Maybe I'm just not getting enough. I don't know. I really don't know. Let's see. Nope. All right, so you can see where I'm getting a pretty good deviation on this. So what I will show you now is something cool. I'm going to turn this off because obviously it is not fixed, which means that I just did all this effort for nothing. But that's all right. See, on my ANET, this was not an issue. because I didn't have to go quite as far as I do with this one. But bummer. God, bummer. Anyway, so I mean, you can see these are connected. They're pretty snug, so that is not the problem. But what is a problem is trying to figure out where to put the build plate while I show you this, because this is really cool. And I want to show you. But I need to put this somewhere safe, somewhere secure, somewhere not in my way. So we're going to try to lay it there and hope that we don't, I don't know, break something, because that would be somewhat awkward as well. While I flip this thing over, I am. Go ahead, just lay down. All right. I think we are in a good spot. I'm going to put this under for a little bit of extra friction. Yeah. Just so if it decides it wants to go sliding off the table, it won't make it very far. Okay, so I'll plug it back in because it's great. And then I'm going to show you what this does, because it is actually kind of neat. All right, I think I've got, I'm going to have to lift this up just a tiny bit. And thank you all for the wonderful thumbs up. I appreciate that. All right, so lower this so you can see it. This, like I said, this is kind of the cool part. Even though I didn't fix it, you can see why it's not working. And I think that is much more worth it. Because you'll see that the thermistor is getting signal. It's just not getting a constant signal. So when I go to this, I'm going to hit the build plate up to, I don't know what that says. What does that say? All right, so we're heating it up to 60 degrees Celsius. Oh, yeah, there it goes. See this green light? See this blue light? Now watch them. See how they're flickering? So what I did is I actually managed to, I did fix it. So it is getting more signal than it was, but it's still not getting enough signal. So that's where the problem comes in. But I will tell you that the build plate is heating up a little bit, which is more than it was doing. But for some reason, the status light on the build plate's not actually doing anything. Oh. So what am I reading for temperature? Oh. I can't see. It's a good thing I have another camera I can use. Come here, you. There we go. Oh, and I'm not going to be able to read that with this camera. Come on. Oh, look at that. So the bed is heating up. Oh, okay. And it looks like it's stable. So that's good. All right, Don. Thanks, buddy. So it appears that even though I do have a little bit of a, well, it looks fine. Build plate is absolutely up to 60 degrees Celsius right now. So I'm going to turn this off and put things back together because it looks like we might have fixed it. Holy crap. I'm kind of like, I'm a little surprised right now because normally I break things worse than the condition they were when I fixed them. So that's cool. Okay, so we made that work. Huh. But for some reason, the status light underneath the build plate is still not working. So I'm kind of wondering about that. I don't actually recall ever looking at it to see if it came on. But I have less than a 1 degree deviation in degrees of Celsius on the build plate now. So that's really good. So, holy crap. So I guess what we're going to do now is be really like happy, I think is a good word. Happy. Yay. The only downside is that this wire is definitely short. So that might end up being a problem. Maybe. Might not be. But I can't believe that. Well, I'm very happy. So look, I guess if things break and you have the patience, I guess you can fix it too. I mean, if I could do it, you can do it. It's kind of the way I look at it. So yes, my biggest thing is if you guys want to help me, help a veteran, in getting this laser guided vehicle, remote controlled vessel, whatever you want to call it. I think I have most of the parts I need for it because I've got the developer kit for the I think it's the Arduino Uno, I believe is what it is. And I think that has sufficient pieces in it to actually do what I'm suggesting. I don't know for sure because I'm not, like I said, I'm not an avid programmer in things Arduino. Other than the couple times that I've had the opportunity to play with, the stuff in Marlin. But if anybody is willing to come up with an idea or can help me develop an idea on this, that would be pretty awesome. All right, this one is being difficult, so. So ideally now I can run this as is. I don't know if I can or not. Oh man, I just dropped a whole bunch of stuff. That sucked. I need more hands for this. I'm hoping I didn't break something. Because then I'd have to fix something else. And I really don't want to do that today. All right. I did. I freaking broke my solder. Well, that's what happens when you don't secure things properly. All right. Well, I can fix the solder. That won't take long, so. Thanks, Deniger. Honestly, I don't. Right now, it's just I need a concept. I need something that, you know, I can come up with that will work. Oh, broke both of the solders. Thankfully, I didn't break the wires. I just broke the solder joint, which I guess is not a good thing because that means it'd probably come unraveled by itself then. Turn that back on. All right. Well, I mean, most of it is going to be figuring out what application. Okay, so for example, I have this developer kit here, which has lots of little things in it. It's got the LCD. It does have the infrared sensor. I believe that's infrared, or is that the ultrasonic? But anyway, yeah, I've got motion. I do have the Uno. I've got lots of little chips, lots of little LEDs. I've got the programmer board in here. The stick, I might be able to use the stick. Little steppers. So yeah, I mean, I've got stepper motors. I've got little, battery. Anyway, I've got this kit here. So essentially, it's just coming up with an idea that I can kind of 3D print parts for, put it together, and ideally run it from a laser. But again, I am not that brilliant of a person, but I appreciate any of the help I can get. I am a grateful person after all. All right, so let's get this back down here. I'm probably going to have to not speak while I do this, because this is operation in tight quarters. And I'm going to have to get some more solder on this. I'm going to put a little bit more solder on here. All right, that feels pretty solid. So I think we can put this back at rest now. And then we'll move on. I am going to have to rework this thing real quick. So I got to find my little doohickey here. I need my nippers. So what we got is some of this here stuff here. And I'm going to try and, well, unplug this because that's what caused my build plate to fall over is I had the thingamajigger all kerfuffled. That should be a technical term, kerfuffled. And I'm going to actually wrap this. I don't. Is that don't? I don't like this stuff because it just takes forever to put on a wire. But that's what I have, so that's what I'm going to use. And yes, I am going to put zip ties on this after. And you probably can't see very well what I'm doing. So here's my over the shoulder. All right, well, I'm going to try and be off to the side here, but what I'm doing is I'm just wrapping this here wire wrappy thingy. I have more at home, but again, like the last time I said I was going to bring it to the lab, I forgot. So we are going to have to use this for right now. And unfortunately, I started it too close to where I'm going, so I may have to, I don't know, see if I can slide it. I think I can if I'm careful. No. Go figure. So I gotta unwrap it because I'm using silicone wire, and silicone wire has a lot of friction. So I gotta start it a little farther down the pipe than I did. Preferably without sweating all over everything. And I probably ought to put my loop on here before I break my solder again. So let me bring this over here. I have a little bit of a cause to be concerned here because there is a slight chance that this wire is not going to be sufficient length for what my application is during the bed travel. But we are going to operate under the assumption at the moment that we do have sufficient room to do a full movement of the build plate before something catastrophic occurs. So that is my assumption, and that is how I'm going to operate for the moment. So otherwise, I will rip my hair out. And I don't need to do that. Let me check. All right, nobody's saying anything, so okay. I do have a little bit of wiggle on this stuff too, so I can pull it to kind of stretch it out and make it go farther. As you can see, you're gonna start from one end, just kind of keep pulling on it until you get it to where you want it. Unfortunately, there's a certain limit to that because once it starts binding up on itself, it's really not going to help. So I think I'm going to call that good. And then I'm going to go around, I think, yes, I need as much play as I can get in that thermistor. So I'm going to try and do this gently. Because I need to lay these cables out just a little bit. Because the spring is going to be here for the build plate. So I need to make sure these are secure, which they are. I need to get some more zip ties. Another handful of them. I'm going to make this nice and neat. Okay. Then we're going to come back here. And there's a piece of that chrome clip right there. We need to take this. I don't like bending this like this. I really don't. Because this is kind of what got me into trouble to begin with. But we're going to try and see if we can make this work. Again, if they're sending me another build plate, this shouldn't be a biggie. So, which they said they would. So we'll see. I just got to get this routed. This is really just a guide, just to kind of keep the cables in place so they don't go crazy. So I'm not snapping this too tight. I'm keeping it so I can actually still pull a little bit. So if I need to, I can adjust that loop however I need to. So you need to go. Well, thanks for being here, Brian. We do love having you. You and your smart aleckiness makes life interesting. All right, so we're going to bring this back here. We're going to find these little buggers, the springies. You got to do two at once. It just helps to do. And then we're going to put them in their associated holes. There we go. And you'll know because they fall right in. There we go. We have the alignment. And now we just need to get all the cables routed underneath the build plate and hope that, I'm going to cut that off. Hope that we don't have any weird chafage. That might be a problem, but I think we'll be okay. Because there's a spot right back here. If this isn't upheld enough, it may catch on the frame back here. But I think there's enough of a reduced friction that it shouldn't. So, all right. So now we're going to go back to doing what we were doing. We're going to go through and we're going to test this one more time. And then that'll be it. I think we'll have achieved what I had set out to achieve today, which was get this here printer heating up. So yeah, we're going to have the same problem. You guys can't see. But what I can do this time is I will get it as close to the display as I can. That way you can see whether or not the temperature remains stable. All right, I think you can see that. Although it looks backwards, at least to me. So, okay, we are going to go to setup, temperature, bed temperature, and we're going to put that up to 60. There you go, and hit OK. Now we should be able to watch the thermistor, and it should be somewhat close. Now, if you see it jump by like 5 degrees or 12 degrees like it was doing, that's a problem. You're looking for as much stability as you can get on the thermistor. That prevents your thermal runaway. So, and we all know thermal runaway is bad because it'll shut your machine off. All right, so we need to wait a few more seconds, and then what I can do is see if I can find my my laser pointer. All right, so it looks like we're just about there. All right, so let's see if we can't find my laser thermometer here. Where did I put my laser thermometer? I put tools in places so I don't lose them. But then I forget how I organize them. Spot on so far. Got a nice creep going. That's good. All right, so I'm registering. You can't really see it, but anyway, what I'll do is I'll turn this a little bit this way. That way you can see my next reading. So it says right now we should be right about 60. So if you can see that, it looks like we are holding steady. I mean, it's right at 60.3. Take one more reading. I'm measuring the center of the bed. That's where the thermistor is. Unfortunately, now I'm at 62. If this goes any higher than that, I'm going to have to shut this off because it means that the signal is not getting back to the board properly. Ah, 64. Definitely not good. So yeah, it's set at 60, but it is now up to 63. That is not good. That's no bueno. So I think, I'm not exactly sure what to do to resolve that. So I'm at 65C right now. It looks like it's still climbing, but so this would be kind of a thermal runaway. Well, it's at 66 right now. Well, my thinking is that if it stays stable at a temperature, then I will adjust the thermistor accordingly. But if it does not stop increasing in temperature, okay, so it looks like it's staying stable at 66. So we will drop this by 6 degrees, and we will see if we can get stable at, so what we were talking, so 66, 60, so we want this 54. So we'll set it at 54, and we'll see if the temperature plateaus, because then it would just be a resistance thing. Because remember, I can't have the camera going over, or the thermistor going over the temperature threshold that I have it set at. Okay, so now it is dropping in temperature. So now this could be because of the gauge of the wire I'm using is higher gauge wire. Well, higher gauge in the larger diameter direction. So instead of like using a 24 gauge, I'm using a 22 gauge. So it may be messing up the resistance on the thermistor. So right now the thermistor is registering 60 degrees at a setting of 54C. So which means that the resistance it's getting is enough to tell it to stop. So right now the center of the build plate's at 61.4. And I'm at 60 on the outside edges. So right at the center of the build plate, I'm registering a 61.4. So this should be okay. I wouldn't think that would affect it either, but something in the connection that I've done right now has affected it. So not exactly sure why that is. So yeah, it's drifting a little bit because I'm at 59.8 now. But it has not registered a thermal runaway, which is good. But why it's allowing this to be higher than the preset is kind of interesting. So the thermistor is registering the correct temperature, whereas the setting is lower than what it's registering. So $58.9. See, if I lose too much more temperature, so yeah, I'm probably going to have to boost it up a little bit more. So 58.6. Well, whenever I run the this printer, the thermistor on the bed always matches what the the setting and the temperature always match within 1 degree. So whatever I've done has changed it so that the offset now is almost 6 degrees Celsius. Well, I don't know if it's always been that way or if it's something that I've done in my wiring. So that's why I'm trying to see. See, it's at 57 now. So I don't know if it's oops. So we'll bring it up to 58 now. This is interesting. $57.6. So, this is very interesting. So now it seems like that whatever that temperature threshold was, it's starting to level itself out to where now it's closer to what the setting is. So I'm going to bring that back up to 60 and see if it holds stable at 60. This is really weird. If it's giving a pre-boost to heat the bed faster, that is possible. The problem is, though, is that I would have to preheat the build plate every time at this point because that deviation of like almost 6 degrees Celsius would absolutely destroy my first layer. And that might be what my problem was originally when I started this. Because the nozzle, when I had it leveled at 60. So it's stable at 60.3 right now. Well, and I'm thinking you might be onto something, TK. I'm just wondering why it's just now starting to show up like this. Unless it always has and I just didn't notice. Which, I mean, actually, that could be. 61.2, which should be exactly where it wants to be right now. I should always have like a 1 degree deviation because it should be about 2 to 3 from corner to middle. 61.4. As long as it doesn't go up to 63, I will be okay. But it's already up to 61.7. 62. I've still got an issue somewhere because I shouldn't have that much of a difference in temperature. But I am reading consistent across the board with the exception of the very center. The very center is reading 63.3. So if I hit 62 on the display, then I'm going to have some kind of a weird up and down thing. So what I may have to do is start printing it or setting it for about 58 to kind of compensate for it instead of 60. And the only problem is that it was going from 58 down to like 54. But it looks, I mean, the display is showing it's stable. But then I'm reading 63.2 on the very center of the bed. 62, 63. Well, all right. So, I mean, I can certainly start setting it at like 58. That should be well within my operating range for this printer anyway, especially for PLA prints. So, if anybody has anything else they want to talk about real quick, let me know. Otherwise, any help you guys want to give me on this project for the laser guided remote control vehicle for my wife's veteran grandfather, I would be most appreciative of that, as would he, of course. I do want to thank everybody for hanging out with me on this day. I will plan on doing an actual, I don't know, like Google Hangout on the days that I can. I do have an interview next week, so I appreciate it, sir. I really do. No, he really can't. He's just kind of, very weak grip. He can grip some stuff, but I don't think he doesn't have the dexterity to really do something. I mean, I might be able to do something with, the little thumbstick, maybe. Might be able to put a Velcro strap to strap it to his wheelchair so he could control it that way, possibly, because that would give, front, back, left, and right. Speed control would be all on the one thing. But I'm not sure that's, I don't know. Well, I'll go with either one. Let's try either one. How about that? Larger remote with larger grips to move. Maybe, but then he's got to hold it. So I'm thinking, like, at this point, kind of a thumb trigger, something he can rest his hand on and just move, that I can Velcro to his wheelchair. Similar to like a wheelchair, the electric scooters, something similar to that I can hook up as a remote control, because I do have a couple of helicopters that I could tear apart for parts for the transmitters. Not sure how they would feel about that, kind of it's not really a hospital, so. But yes, that is the kind of thinking. So if you guys want to help me develop that, we can probably do that in Don's Discord. Mouse, slide left, right, forward. I think I want to be able to Velcro it and have it attached to his wheelchair, just to make sure that it's as simple as possible. I think the laser on the hat brim would be ideal, because then he could just go like this and it'll follow it. But an attached, mechanism like a power chair would certainly be something worth looking into also, because I think he would have enough that he could move, much less than he would have to with a little tiny thumb thingy. So any help you guys want to provide, I'm appreciative. Like I said, I'll start doing something in Discord with that. I'll see if we can set up something like a Sorry, second link or something, because I've got the one for the printer and stuff in it. But anyway, you guys have been awesome today. Thanks for the great time going through and troubleshooting and trying to get the Chiron running. I will attempt a print on the Chiron probably tomorrow because it is getting late. So that means I have to get out of here and go do stuff at the house so I don't die because, you know, happy wife and all that. So anyway, I will probably catch you guys in another stream. I do have things that I have to do tomorrow, but I may still be on. It won't be until noon, so I should be able to be in one of the hangouts tomorrow morning. So until then, you guys are awesome. Thanks for hanging out. Thanks for helping lend to the creativity, that I tried to do. And thanks for trying to help me be interesting because I know I can be very boring and, well, monotone. You too, TK. Thanks, Deniger. Thanks, TK, Don, and Mike, and Brian, and everybody else that has been lurking but not participating in the conversation. I appreciate all of you being here. So thank you again. Look forward to having you guys at the next stream. So again, thank you for hanging out with me, and I will catch you next time.